Second Shabbos 57. Good morning, Harold.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning, Harold.
Bameh isha yotza uvameh ena yotza. So when you walk outside on Shabbos into Rosh Hashanah, your clothing is not considered a burden. You're wearing it. And so this parak is going to deal with the concept of tachshit. Tachshit is like a piece of jewelry, or something that is used by a person. And is it like a piece of clothing, or is it like a burden?
An adornment, they call it.
Okay, like a hat pin or a tie clip. These kinds of things are tachshitim. And the question will be, even if it is a tachshit, the chachamim were geyser. A tachshit is considered like a malbush, and you'd be able to wear it. But sometimes they prevented you from wearing things because you would, if it was very expensive, like a piece of jewelry, you might take it off, show it to somebody, and carry it down Amos B'Shus Rabbi. So sometimes, even though it is a tachshit, and technically you should be allowed to wear it on Shabbos, they don't allow you to wear it because you might show it to somebody. That's the first part. Let's say they would tie their hair up with a string of wool. So you're not allowed to go with that. You're not allowed to take that out. You're not allowed to wear that in your hair. Not with flax. Or some kind of leather band. Now, as an aside, the Mishnah says, if she goes to the mikveh wearing this, when she has to go to the mikveh, these are considered chatzitza. She would have to undo them to allow water to get in between the hair and the water. So the hair gets totally toivil. Then we continue the list of things that she cannot go out with. V'lo batotefet. We'll see this kind of head. The Gemara will explain all these. It's like a head ornament. V'lo b'sarvitin. It's like a side flap. Isman shein on tfurim. If they were not tied to her, let's say, hair netting. V'lo b'kovel. She can't go out with a kovel. Gemara will explain what that is. V'lo b'irshal zav. Irshal zav is like a nice piece of jewelry that was like this, like the relief of the city of Yerushalayim. V'lo b'ktala, it's another piece of jewelry. We'll see v'lo b'nezamim. Nezamim are like nose rings. V'lo b'tabash she'en aleh chosam. It's a signet ring, right? A ring that they would use to sign a letter with. Let's say there was a pin that didn't have a hole in it, and it was stuck in their clothing as a tachshit. So all these things are gzeirus midrabbanan. That's why the Mishnah concludes and says, "Vim yotzas eina chayeves chatas." If she did go out with these things, she's not chayev chatas because it's only gzeir midrabbanan, like we explained. Rashi says, "L'chatzer shori." It's not muktzah, these things. You can go out to your backyard with it. Now, Rashi says in Rosh Hashanah that these things would be also to go into your chatzer because of Gzeira, Shema Targileim, Rosh Hashanah. You might eventually go into Rosh Hashanah. So it's part of the same Gzeira. So the Gemara says, Tvila Manda Karshme. Who's talking about Tvila? We're talking about going out on Shabbos. What did you throw Tvila in there? He gave us a reason. Why can a woman not go out with threads of wool in her hair. Because the Chachamim explained this kind of thread was tied very tightly to the point that if they went to the mikveh, they'd have to undo it. So b'Shabbos lo teitze, so she shouldn't go out with it on Shabbos. Why? She might need to go to the mikveh that Shabbos for Shayla. It's permitted for her to go to the mikveh when it's a mitzvah. And then she'll have to undo it, and she'll be concerned, and she'll take it out of her hair and carry it. Like a hair netting. Hair net. Are you asking about one that's woven? If it's a woven hairnet, they can go into the mikveh with it directly without undoing anything. And therefore, we're not worried about this kind of garment that she's going to carry it. Rosh Hashanah. Itmar Nami. There's a statement like that. If it's a woven hairnet, there's no gzeira. Other people say, I saw my sister that they're not makbid, and they go into the mikveh with these hairnets tied to their hair. So you see that water goes in very easily, and it doesn't serve as a chatzitza. Now, what's the difference between itmar nami loy gazru and the second lashon of chazina? Ma ikka ben hachlish no ben hachlish. Ik binayu ditznifin. If, for example, the hairnet got dirty, according to the lishna lachlish no dama koshu arig loy gazru adachat harinami arig, we don't care whether it's dirty or not. Lachlish no dama mishum kapeda, but it has to do whether they're makpid on it or not. Kivan ditnifa mikpid kapta light. Once it's dirty, they're makpid on it, and maybe they will take it off and loosen it, and then according to that lashon, she would not be able to go out on Shabbos wearing it. Tanan Osam, the elu chotzim ba'oda. Now that you talked about mikvah, the following things are a chatzitza: chutei tzemer v'chutei pishtan. Bands of threads of wool or linen, baritzuos, shabrosh yabonos, leather straps in the hair of the girls. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, shel tzemer v'shel seyar ein choytzitzin. If it's wool or hair, it's not a chatzitza. V'nei shamayim boin b'hem. These are not tied so tightly that it prevents water from getting it. We're talking about in the hair of women's hair. Now, what is that excluding? For example, things that they wear around their neck. And what are we excluding? We're talking about threads of wool. You told me previously that in our Mishnah that threads of wool you'd have to undo, and so threads are soft and hair is kosher, and yet it provides a chatzitza. So skin is much softer than hair. Certainly it would be tight, and water couldn't get in. So maybe it comes to exclude linen. So also the Mishnah said it's not good. We said it's a chatzitza kasha gabi rachma boy. Rav Yosef, Rav Huna said the kulan b'roshei abonos only at the head and not the other parts of the body, and not the neck, for example. A woman will not wear something around her neck that's very tight because she's going to choke herself. So there's always some room there. So water would get in, and if she wore it around her neck, it would not be a problem. Esrei Abaya, Abonos Yotzes Bechutin Shebozneya. the women go out with threads that are dangling from a hole made in the earlobe when the girls were young. So they would make a hole there, and so that it shouldn't close up, they would thread it with a piece of thread. So, but they can't go out with threads around their neck. If they don't wear it tightly, so why don't they go out? Why can't they go out with these things around their neck? On Ravina, we're talking about an important garment, beged chashuv, that was hung around their neck, next to their heart, like a necklace, but it's a garment kind of thing. And it's Rashi says shliipo mashi yocheles al good. It's like a bib, and there's like a belt. There's loops that they would put a leather strap through. The garment is wide. I'm reading Rashi. She could choke herself with that. The isha chonekes at something because they wore it tight. That made their flesh sort of overgrow the, when you wear something tight, it looks like you've got rolls of flesh. And contrary to our society, where being thin is considered the fashion, then the fashion was to look heavy. It looked because it showed that you had a lot of money, that you could eat well and have rolls of fat. That's like the Rubens when he painted, right, in the, I guess, the Renaissance time, or around that time, the Rubens women were known as very, they were plump, because that was the ideal of beauty at that time. Rabbi Yehuda Oimer, but he argued that threads of wool or hair are not a chatzitza. They agree with Rabbi Yehuda if there was some kind of thread made out of hair, so that was not like chutei tzemer according to Rabbi Yehuda. We paskin like Rabbi Yehuda. Must be. Are you telling me that there's a machlokes, somebody arguing? If it wasn't for the fact that we heard from the Tanakama the Ayrim Chutei Seir. So maybe he wasn't discussing that either. Maybe it's just like you admit to me that Chutei Seir permitted. So maybe admit to me that Chutei Tzemer also permitted. So we have to be told no. Itmar. Amrav Nachman Amar Shmuel. Moedim Chacham Rabbi Yehuda b'Chutei Seir. That the Chacham only agreed Rabbi Yehuda by hair, not by wool. Tanya Machi, there's a brayso to support that. Chutei Tzemer Chotzitzin, because it's tied tightly, and you're going to have to undo it if you have to, and it's a Chatzitza. Chutei Seir ain't Chotzitzin. Rabbi Yehuda Oimer Shal Tzemer Shal Seir ain't Chotzitzin. So the point of Machlokes between Chacham and Rabbi Yehuda is only on Tzemer. They agree by Seir. You could deduce it from the Mishnah to Diktani. A woman could go out with some kind of thread made out of hair in her hair, whether it's her hair or somebody else's hair. Man, Rabbi Yehuda. So Rabbi Yehuda allows a filu chutei tzemer nami. El lav rabbanon u'shmami na b'chutei seir lo pligi. They don't argue by chutei seir. Shmami, no, it's a good right. There's a law about the tefes. Ma'ito tefes. On Rav Yosef. It's like, think about a woman wearing a hairnet, and then across her forehead, there's some kind of like flap, almost like Cleopatra. But initially, the Gemara says it's some kind of spice against ayin hara. Why would you forbid that? Let it be like a proven amulet an amulet that works, which is permitted. So it can't be, we're talking about spices. Which is this forehead thing. Sifcha is like a hairnet. Hamuzevet, it's like threaded with gold. Uva totefet. Totefet is this forehead piece. Uva sarvitin are these flaps, like in Egypt. If they used to wear like a flap, a rectangular flap covering their ear, made out of garment. Which is which? This goes from ear to ear, covering her forehead. Sarvitin amagin adlachaya comes down to her cheeks, like that. Amravuna, anios, poor women, use colored shmatis to make the flaps. Shiros, wealthy women, it would be made out of silver or gold. The loba kovel. The Mishnah said they couldn't go out with a kovel. On Rav Yana, kovel is any of them out. Rav Yana said, I don't know what a kovel is. It's non, some kind of garment that the avodim would wear. Some kind of seal on their begodim that people would know that they're an eved. Aval kippur shel tzemer shapir dami, but if it's like a woolen cap that women would use to cover their hair, shapir dami, perhaps that would be permitted. Oh, dilma kippur shel tzemer tzna. Mishnah is referring to this woolen cap that they would cover their hair. The kol shekin kavla da'avda. And if they can't go out with that, they certainly can't go out with this thing that the Eved would wear, because certainly he might end up showing that. Amrav Avo, Istavra Kabadom and Kippur Shel Tzemer Tznan. It's more logical to say we're talking about in the Mishnah a covering of the hair made out of wool. And it was decorative, which again we were concerned. Rashi says, "Kiven de miglasara lo shalfa umachbe." No, kippur shel tzemer shapir dami. You're allowed to go at that because since a woman covers her hair with that, she's not going to take it off. Says Rashi. Or maybe Dilma Kippur is also considered lo teitze. We're concerned that she's going to show it off. Because I guess this was all, they wore a hairnet on top of it. And therefore, she would take it off because her hair would not be revealed because she's got sort of other protection underneath it. So this was worn on top of the hairnet. In fact, the Bryce says she can go out with a kavul. To a chotzer. We'll see what an istim is later. It looks like the Tanakama holds that you cannot go out with a kavul in Rosh Hashanah. Anything that's below worn the hair nut, yotzin, because she's not going to take that if it's dangling from those things. She's not going to take her hairnet off to reveal her hair. So therefore, you're not worried. She can go out with that. But if she wears it on top of her hairnet, she can't go out with that because that she will take off because she's got a covering of her hair underneath. Ein yotzin. My istima. What's this istima? Amrav bezyuni. What's bezyuni? My bezyuni. Amrav Amrav kalya pruchi. It's also a small little hat that gathers some hair that sneaks out from under the hairnet. And we said that she can go out with, because anything that's separate from the hairnet, they could. When Shimon says you go out with Shusar Rabbi but not with the istima, because the istima they both agree that you can't go out with that, because that you reveal some hair. According to that source, she should be able to go out with that. Mitznefes Ktana, לאחר כישורי שכל ראש וכיערס קטן שיוצא חוץ לרשע, בין גבוכי עד שמפעיל ויוצא לחוץ, ועוד sometimes כישור על ידי מצנפס קצרה. I guess it was you're not allowed to go out with it because since most of the hair is covered, she might show it off and carry Daled Amos B'Shus Rabbi. Torah Rabbanon, Shlosha Dvar Nemru Be'istama. This istama thing, they said 3 halachas. Ein ba mishum klai. Since it's not woven, and it's there's no climb from it. Ve'ena mitama v'negoyim. It's a beged that cannot become mitame through a nega because it's got to be woven. Because the Torah says it has to be a beged oru. Ben yotzim al shus rabin, and you can't go out with shus rabin because again we're concerned you're going to take it off and show it. Yishum Rab Shimon Amru, af ein ba mishum atros kalos. After the Churban, Chachamim were geyser that you shouldn't go out with certain kind of decorative items because of mourning. And the Gemara says that's one of those things. Okay. So tomorrow night, 8:45.
Yes.
Tomorrow night, 8:45. Have a good Shabbos, everyone.